Good day, here we are again with the latest update now on the tropics. Still watching Typhoon Nanmadol or Bagyong Mina and also Tropical Storm Talas. It is the 27th of August 2011, 0730 Zulu, 3:30 p.m. Philippine time or 4:30 p.m. Japan time. Now watching Nanmadol exiting over water after making landfall, just brushing the northeastern part of Cagayan, specifically here in the towns of Gonzaga and Santa Ana. See, it was now last located approximately 10 kilometers northwest of Santa Ana, Cagayan, right over here, or about 60 kilometers east-northeast of Apari, which is right over here. Maximum sustained winds still at 195, gusting to 240, moving northwestward at 10 kilometers per hour. You can see the circulation, and the core is actually still pretty tight. Remember, this is still a Category 3, not a super typhoon anymore. Suffering from the effects of interaction with the land and also the geography here of Luzon. Remember, it being mountainous here. Just want to show you the infrared image taken earlier this morning, just before it made landfall here in the northeastern part of Cagayan, as I said, near the boundary of Gonzaga and Santa Ana. You can see this still maintained a tight core here in the infrared before making landfall, and as you can see in the latest image, now the eye has become cloud filled, but still having that powerful circulation, as I said, Category 3 still, and that is why Pagasa is keeping that signal number 4. We only see that once in a year. The last one was used, Typhoon Maggie or Juan last year. As of 11 a.m. still have that signal number 4 for parts of northern Cagayan, Babuyan, and Calayan group of islands. Signal number 3, meanwhile, for the rest of Cagayan, Isabela, Apayao, Batanes group of islands. Signal number 2 for northern Aurora, Quirino, Ifugao, Mountain Province, Kalinga, Ilocos provinces, Abra, Benguet, and La Union. Signal number 1, the other hand, for the rest of Aurora, Nueva Vizcaya, Nueva Ecija, Pangasinan, Tarlac, and Zambales. Looking at the latest infrared image now, as you can see, the eye is somewhere over here and now moving across the water. You can see the circulation suffered greatly due to that interaction, but still maintaining this pretty large coverage, also blowing in, enhancing that southwest monsoon throughout the central Luzon, southern Luzon, and also here for western Visayas. Also seeing this intense convective activity for the western parts of Luzon, particularly Ilocos Norte. We've received rainfall reports ranging from 80 to 100 millimeters around this area. Baguio actually reporting 190 millimeters due to being near the in the mountains, enhancing that rainfall via orographic lifting there. The rest of the areas here in central Luzon reporting mainly 50 to 100 millimeters. So still some moderate to heavy rain brought about by Mina here. We haven't received any rainfall yet for Cagayan, but I'm sure it's running around that same figure. You can also see in this infrared image now the outer periphery of Mina now approaching southern Taiwan, also Batanes group of islands right over here. You can also see some convective rain bands there. And taking also a look at this visual image, this is a 1 kilometer image, and you can see this huge circulation also, as I said, those clouds now approaching Taiwan. And this is actually taken from the Central Weather Bureau. This is the latest radar image from Taiwan. You can see now those outer rain bands now moving their way through Kaohsiung and southern Taiwan. Also here for Batanes group of islands, you can also see embedded in these bands are very intense heavy rain, perhaps possibility for tornadic activities, very weak tornadoes, perhaps EF0 to EF1, very fast moving as well, and degrade over land upon moving over land there. So very short-lived tornadoes, but still can do much damage. So keep in mind those presence and the possibilities there. Now, as for the forecast, still some inconsistencies, but the general consensus now takes Mina generally northward, perhaps moving just southeast of Taiwan by Monday, perhaps making actually some computer models showing landfall by Tuesday here. But you can also see some outliers, including the Nogaps, which actually takes Mina to the northeast, perhaps predicting a much stronger Fujiwara or direct cyclone interaction. As I said yesterday, you don't really think this is a great big possibility anymore in regards to the Fujiwara, mainly because of the distance between these two storms now. Another model we use is the CMWF, or the Euro model, also showing this actually much faster landfall from the Euro, forecasting this by Monday 2 days from now, making landfall here just southeast of Kaohsiung as perhaps a strong typhoon, perhaps a category 2 typhoon. Moving across the warm waters here in Luzon Strait, I expect this to perhaps intensify more, but again showing you the ECMWF here making landfall here, showing you the different possibilities. And you can also see in this forecasting Talas to become a very big and powerful storm there as well. Now showing you the forecast agencies, we have here JTWC, again shifting their track a little bit more to the west, but still staying offshore of Taiwan. Still doesn't want to forecast a landfall here, but as you can see also JTWC forecasting this to re-intensify over water. Wind shear still very light, around 5 to 10 knots. Still very warm waters here just north of Luzon, so probably still has a chance of becoming Cat 4 by 24 to 36 hours from now. And yes, as I said, we have JTWC moving north and then just brushing the coast of Taiwan, perhaps moving to the northeast there. Pagasa also showing the same thing. The forecast agency is actually becoming in line with a track just east of Taiwan here, and Pagasa also forecasting Mina to perhaps exit the Philippine area of responsibility as early as Tuesday or Wednesday. And also showing you JMA's forecast track. I still don't have their 5-day forecast, but you can see in this 3-day forecast track, actually the western outlier among the forecasting agencies actually showing Nanmadol or Mina moving to the east of Taiwan, perhaps making landfall here by Tuesday there. And you also see this big coverage of near tropical storm force winds extending as far south as La Union, and also as far north now, reaching into Batanes and perhaps into southern Taiwan. So very interesting developments for certainly for Taiwan here. Perhaps going to see some deteriorating conditions beginning Sunday tomorrow and lasting into Tuesday, depending on the speed of Nanmadol here. And yeah, finally we're showing you Central Weather Bureau from Taiwan. This is the official weather bureau here. You can also see they're forecasting a track just offshore of Taiwan. So but the general consensus again showing you that eastward track just east of Taiwan. But this is my personal forecast here, my personal thoughts. Again, as I still expect this to perhaps re-intensify more into a category 4 by tomorrow as it moves across these very favorable conditions, and then perhaps making landfall just south of Hualien by late Monday evening or into early Tuesday, perhaps as a category 2. It will weaken then before approaching Taiwan due to the land interaction here. But again, pretty good consensus now among agencies and models that showing you that Taiwan will be affected sometime tomorrow with tropical storm force winds, and perhaps seeing typhoon force winds as early as Sunday night into Monday there. Now moving on to the other system, we have Tropical Storm Talas, still remaining a tropical storm. Maximum sustained wind still at 85, gusting to 110, moving north at actually 10. The latest advisory just came out, and very slow movement now, not 20 kph now, moving north just around 5 to 10 kph actually, so just stalling here well south of Japan still. But you can see the core is now beginning to appear here on the radar. You can see this very large circulation, center of circulation very big and very wide as well, showing the visible image. And you can also see this very big circulation across the Pacific here, as I said, still well south of Japan and well northwest of Guam. And you can see this big circulation actually. You can see also the eastern half of Nanmadol here. So But again, the distance between them is pretty far now to really expect some Fujiwara direct cyclone interaction, but it could still happen. I mean, you just have to watch the trends here, and that is why we are here to give you the latest updates. Again, one thing I do want to note here with big systems like this is the propensity and the tendency to absorb more dry air. The dry air in training, as you know, doesn't help with much intensification, and you can see in this infrared image very paltry in terms of convective activity, especially in the northern side, as it absorbs the dry air into its circulation and into its core. So that not seeing any sort of very impressive convective activity that we have seen from Nanmadol, and here at Talas, again showing you the northern periphery still remaining empty. But again, as it sorts out that dry air, and as it maintains a pretty tight core, perhaps going to begin intensifying again, perhaps into typhoon strength. As I showed you earlier, it has a very wide circulation, and you can also see in this wind analysis from the satellite some very wide circulation, perhaps reaching for actually 400 kilometers approximately from the north, and also as far away as 500 to 600 kilometers actually, according to JMA, to the east. So as I said, very large circulation, and but you can also see the center, as I said, a very big center, so we have a very big swath of very light winds. You can also see the strongest of winds in this analysis, around 50 knots, is located just north west of the circulation. So, but again, as I said, as it begins to become much organized, it will continue to intensify. In terms of the track, it's still pretty erratic and inconsistent from the computer models. Still some outliers, including the CMC and also the UK Met, actually forecasting a rapid turn to the west tomorrow for Talas. So still unlikely, and the consensus now is now taking Talas to the north, just south of Honshu by Wednesday there, and some models take it out to sea. Some models actually bring it towards Honshu. So very lots of mysteries. The forecast track, exact forecast track, is still up in the air. Remember Nanmadol last week, we were saying it could hit southern Japan. Right now you could see Nanmadol now taking aim towards Taiwan. So it's a very big disparity in the span of 3 to 5 days, and applying it to Talas, you could see a track shift day by day. So just keep in mind those scenarios there. And as I said before, one of the models, particularly the ECMWF, actually taking Talas south of towards southern Honshu, perhaps just just west of Tokyo. This is Thursday next week. You can see still well offshore of Japan. As you move that, perhaps making landfall by Friday or Saturday Japan time there. Forecast from JTWC also showing the northern track, and also JMA forecasting this to take northern track and perhaps taking a turn to the northeast by late next week. This is my personal forecast again, actually showing you perhaps intensifying into a typhoon by Monday or Tuesday, and then generally moving northward. And again, beyond Wednesday, the forecast still very much up in the air. It could very well make landfall in Japan. So if you live anywhere in these areas, make sure you carefully monitor the progress of Talas here. And finally, before I end, showing you Hurricane Irene, now weakening to a category 1 just before making landfall here in the Outer Banks. You can see the infrared presentation worse than 24 hours ago, some dry air. But National Hurricane Center is still expecting this to maintain that hurricane intensity as it approaches New York area. So you know why I'm based in New York, so I'm closely monitoring the progress of Irene, as it could affect my ability to post updates. So just stay tuned with our blog to tell you. I'm gonna tell you the updates with Irene, and perhaps I may not be able to post, so I will let you know before running out of power here. For the forecast here, just turn to storm 28storms.com. Till then, bye bye.